Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots, and Andrew Lee is back, bro. How you feeling, Andrew Lee?
Really good, man. Really good.
You didn't miss anything. Cold Day in Hell was pretty bad. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
What did you think of it?
Absolutely. Oh, I just deleted it. Hold on. What did I think? Um, what did I think? I think I liked the first match. I know that. Oh, actually, I'm looking at my reviews of it, and it was a pretty average pay-per-view.
Yeah, I thought the only match I liked was Vader versus Ken Shamrock that I really liked.
Yeah, I like that one too. That was a good one. I think it was like surprisingly the main event I didn't like.
Yeah, those two didn't have any chemistry yet. So you
Did
didn't miss
you
anything. You
Did
didn't miss
you did
anything.
you did you guys know how at the end of it McMahon thanked Aunt Rose?
Yeah, that was his best friend's mom. That was like the only person he ever cared about on the planet, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy. She was not even a family member, and
No,
he made sure to shout her out. That's pretty amazing.
I feel like I said this to Kyle last week. I feel like Vince McMahon has like five people that he's not related to that he'd like do anything for, and the rest of the world he's willing to like murder to get his way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's got like five people, and I think that
Aunt
woman was one.
Rose, Aunt Rose,
He still
Arch
gives Johnny
Ruth.
Rods money. That's pretty
Who?
significant. Johnny Rods.
Johnny Rods, I guess. Yeah. That
Johnny
guy,
Rods.
that guy James Dudley, right?
James Dudley. Him and I it's come out that him and Gorilla did not get along, so I don't know if it would have been him. Uh, James Dudley, yeah, James Dudley, he really looked out for. Martin Luther King, he was a big fan of, but I don't know if like they met. I don't think they met.
I feel like that was a cover story.
Yeah.
I
Well,
feel like he would say Martin Luther King just so that people don't think he's a racist. You know?
I mean, listen, James Dudley. I mean, people were like shitting all
Uh,
over James Dudley being in the
yeah.
Hall of Fame, and he did it anyway. So,
Yeah, that's true.
I
I
mean,
think James Dudley knows all the women he probably took a shit on. That's probably why.
apparently, if somebody was fucking with his dad in terms of money, like the guy's like, I want fucking 5 grand, or I'm not leaving. I'm gonna fucking punch you in the face. James Dudley would just walk in and like start playing like with a switchblade. Like he would just stand there. And
That's that's funny. That's
with the
actually.
implication, like if you keep going down this road, this motherfucker is gonna stab you without saying it. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
But yeah, Hunt Rose, James Dudley, possibly our truth, right?
Brock
Um,
Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. Um, that's probably it. I don't even think he cares about Bruce Pritchard that much, you know? So yeah, four. I
I
don't
think
even
he
know if he
cared
could
about
get five.
Shawn Michaels at this point, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but I'll tell you, man, this pay per view smoked that one. This felt to me like in a good way, not in a bad way, a 92-93 WCW show, but like with all the strengths and like not very few of the weaknesses. There were some matches that stunk, but overall, it was a really good time. And I still can't believe Bischoff a year from now is basically like fuck Ric Flair. I'm gonna ruin his career, and thinking he's gonna get away with that with this fan base. I can't like how like fucking are you just not paying attention to anybody? Like, why did you think you could fuck with Ric Flair a year from now? You know?
So, in my opinion about Slamboree 1997, I think it is probably the best pay per view WCW has put on till this point. This is the best one. I think
Overall,
overall, I think up and down. I mean, dude, it's hard to have like a damn near perfect pay per view, right? But
hmm
this is pretty close. This is up there. I think this is up there as being pretty close. So let's get into it. Slamboree 1997. The tradition continues. So Slamboree, when we were first reviewing the first few Slamborees, they were like shows that were dedicated to the old timers, right? They would have like fucking they would have like Johnny Weaver come out and do a match like for old time's sakes, and have they would like roll out Gordon Soley to do the fucking commentary for, and those those were rough to watch sometimes, right? They were nice because you're paying homage to like tradition and the heritage, but they were fucking rough. Um, they
Yeah,
don't.
they were.
Yeah, and I'm kind of glad they're not doing that anymore with these. Didn't some of them? They would even show you some of the matches in black and white.
That's what they did at the last one we watched, the
Yeah,
90.
yeah, like
No, no,
it
no,
wasn't. Yeah,
95.
yeah,
They
yeah.
did
It was
they,
like
they put the match in black and white. Yeah, it was
yeah,
really
they would just show you the match in black and white. I'm like, it just was like I get what they were trying to do, but it just made it like look so boring. And I'm so glad they're. This is not. This is kind of going away from that.
well.
So it takes. Yeah,
I think the legend theme this year was Piper. I think the angle between the NWO and Piper and Flair were like, you two are old, and NWA tradition is garbage, and the NWO is here to stay. And Piper and Flair beat the NWO, which is a much better way to pay tribute to the past than to have like Greg Valentine wrestle like Johnny Weaver on the opening match, of this
yeah,
show.
no, it, because it's you're also tying it into current storylines.
Yeah.
The other old timer matches they would have on Slamboree, they're just like put together old timer matches that didn't have
Mhm.
any like consequences. This one actually is tied into not only the main event, but it's tied into the hottest story in wrestling at of
Yeah.
during this year, right? In both companies, all over the world. So it was like perfect the way it was done. I really like this setup they had for Slamboree. Slamboree was one of the worst. It was one of those pay-per-views I dreaded reviewing for WCW but this one I would say it's like the damn near perfect. Takes place
Well, no,
May. Yeah,
another good Slamboree. I don't know if you remember. Slamboree '94 was really good. That had Vader versus Sting. It had the tag match with Kevin Sullivan and Cactus Jack versus the Nasty Boys. And then it also had Terry Funk versus Tully Blanchard, where they all started chanting ECW because it was in Philly, the show.
yeah, and I'm not saying the other Slamborees were like all bad, but like I'm trying to look at that one. Actually, yeah, that one was a pretty good one because they didn't have a lot of filler matches too much, right?
That one, yeah, and that one, I don't, we were like, WCW was like on a hot streak, and Hogan kind of just derailed it with his Hoganness. Like the next
Yeah,
show, like, everyone who's killing it gets like relegated to like the lower card.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, but this one was definitely even better than that one.
Hmm.
Slamboree 1997 takes place on May 18th, 1997 in Charlotte, North Carolina. Over 9,000 people are in attendance and it draws 220,000 pay-per-view buys. Let's do a little comparison to what's happening in WWF at this time. May 11th, so that's 7 days before Slamboree. In Your
Hmm.
House, Cold Day in Hell, over 14,000 people in attendance, but only draws 163,000 pay per view buys. So Slamboree 1997 is outdrawing Cold Day in Hell, WBF's Cold Day in Hell, by a significant amount, at least 60,000. Slamboree 1996, the Slamboree before this, 155,000 pay-per-view buys. So Slamboree 1997 is not only outdrawing its competition, but it's improving from the previous year. So it's super hot right now for WCW. And what is highlighting main eventing this pay-per-view, which the intro highlights, is that we got 3 NFL players are going to be in this pay per view, which is a big deal, right? Because football draws. We got, and they also tell us Piper and Flair, they're going up against the NWO. This is the basically the old timers versus the current modern day heels. Um, Commentary team is going to be Tony Schiavone, American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and Bobby the Brain Heenan. I like the setup so far. The setup is like they're telling us those you don't have to go through all the matches. Just be, hey, we got NFL players. They're going to be involved, and we also got this is the match we're going to have against the hottest act, NWO. Let's go straight to the point. I liked it. What about you so far?
Yeah, I like the stage. I like the fact they have like a Titantron. They have the big screen. I like that. I like the way the setup is done, the entrance way. And yeah, I mean, I think the thing that drew for this one is number one. People wanted to see Flair hadn't wrestled on pay per view in September, so that's big. That's number one. That's big. And number two, I think people want to see Reggie White and the return of Kevin Green.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Hmm.
and of course Piper. We always kind of like because he's annoying, but Piper is still a draw. I mean, it is what
Piper's
it is.
Piper's super hot still. Yeah,
And he didn't
he's
talk
drawing.
this show, so it was much better.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He didn't. He didn't. You didn't see him cutting too many promos. So that's good. And yeah, like Flair was injured, so he wasn't like wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but now he's back, and they're in Charlotte. That's like Flair's backyard. So
And this
you
is
know.
the same building he beat Vader in, who, by the way, they say has vanished and never seen again.
Excuse
But
me.
this
All
is the
right.
building, I mean, this is I like, you know what I like, and Ryan Mahar said like that's why they're not in business anymore. And I'm like, no, I think there's other reasons. I like the fact that they treat the South like a big deal. Like, I don't think that makes them small time. I think that makes me want to go visit Charlotte and Winston-Salem and all these other places that I only ever heard of because WCW talks about them like they're in fucking Paris or London, you know?
You know I know what you're talking about. The place that I want to visit because of just how important they make it look from the territories is actually Memphis.
Yeah.
You know, because they
Another one.
constantly talk about Memphis wrestling this, Memphis wrestling that, and like it's such an important area. And like I get it, like Elvis Presley is from there and or whatever. That's never Elvis has never made me want to go visit Memphis, right?
Mm.
Music City has never made me want to go visit Memphis, but the fact that it was such a big wrestling hub is like the only like it makes me want to go. Like if I was someone was like taking a road trip, hey, you want to stop by Memphis? I'll be like, hell yeah, I want to see if there's like a museum or something somewhere. You know, like there's got to be a little wrestling museum. There has to be. There's no way there isn't, right?
I think with Jerry Lawler croaks, there will be. I think they'll take like a lot of stuff out of his house and put a museum up. I wouldn't be surprised if after he dies. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he has most of the stuff people want to see. You know?
Do you think when he dies and they set up a museum, they'll have a section for all the sexual stuff
Oh,
that he
yeah, I think so. Yeah, you can. It's gonna be a ride. You can like it's gonna be a roller coaster because you like roller. No, Mick Foley likes roller coasters.
uh, there's a part where he blames black people. All right, right?
No, he didn't do that. That was did it? Isn't that just what Hogan did? Did they all do it now?
No, no, no. Lawler did that too. Lawler did that
Oh,
too.
okay.
Yeah, Lawler's not a good person.
Oh, Lawler. If
He
anyone, I,
yeah.
Lawler.
For those of you who don't know, Lawler was accused of, I believe, statutory rape, which is like when you are having sex with a minor, right?
Yes.
And you're an
Well,
adult. That's statutory rape, right? Or is it not?
it's not. It's definitely if you fuck a 12-year-old, it's some type of rape. Yes.
Yeah. So he yeah, I think it's statutory rape. Yeah, age of consent. So this girl and her mom were like taking, I guess, they were pressing charges against Jerry Lawler, and Jerry Lawler did like witness tampering and shit. Like
Hmm.
he like went to her, like threatened her. I think he went to the witnesses and he threatened them or something like that. And he started bashing her character, the girl's character, saying she's somebody who hangs out with black men. You can't really take her word for it. I swear to God, this is like,
I believe it. I think I'm starting to remember this now. Yeah.
yeah. Um, so and if you read Jerry Lawler's book, because he had a book and I read it, um, he does. He's very proud of the sex he had while being a wrestler. Like he doesn't shy away from that. That like part of what was like the best thing about wrestling was getting to fuck all the
Yeah.
rats.
None of these guys ever shy away from that. Yeah.
Yeah, like he brags about the rats he gets to fuck and stuff. So I I just don't like yeah, I mean, they're all dirty, bro. They're all dirty.
What was I gonna say? Do you think you know what I just realized? You said he intimidated her. You know, because people thought wrestling was real, right? Do you think like Grizzly Smith, like let's just say, for example, Grizzly Smith like bangs like this 14-year-old, and she's like, "My daddy's gonna come get you," and then he sends like the missing link to the house, and the missing link is like ah oh ah, and the dad's like all right,
Um, no, I think it was Kamala. I think it was Kamala. He said
Kamala
Kamala.
goes on, like, do you think like they stay in character to intimidate the person? Like, oh fuck,
Oh
oh
yeah,
no.
because kayfabe, brother, kayfabe, of course.
Yeah,
You know, that's
like
the whole
I
point.
wonder if that's that happened. Like, that like Grizzly Smith sends somebody over, and the person's too embarrassed to like admit that the dad thought wrestling was real. So she's like, "Dad, did you get that Grizzly Smith? He sent Kamala over. He's the Uganda giant. You're just gonna have to take this, daughter. Oh my god, I can't fight him."
Yeah, I think that's what happened. By the way, I'm looking it up. Jerry Lawler was charged with rape and sodomy of a 13-year-old girl.
Okay,
Right?
well he's not a complete creep. All right, that's good.
Yeah, yeah, 13-year-old girl, and he was, I think he was 43 at the time. Jesus
Oh,
Christ. Um, or maybe 40, but yeah, he said like he basically said you can't take her for her word because she does lesbian acts or something like that, and she has sex with black men. So it's like, what the fuck? Like that's what he was banking on and stuff, and he got away with it. By the way,
he got away with it, bro. That stuff is. I mean, let me tell you how little because I how rapid they talk. I mean, they talk about on the Conrad podcast, and this is when Bruce Pritchard just got rehired, and Bruce kind of like is just like, oh yeah, yeah, he proved it. But it's like not only did he get away with it, like you talk about it, and people are just like, yeah, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess yeah, she did make up stuff. It's like, bro, I don't know. It's like I just feel like nowadays you couldn't get Bruce Pritchard to talk about that in the podcast. You know,
yeah, yeah. I think
he's basically yelling at a bit.
Jesus Christ. I forgot how did we get into this discussion? Oh, we're talking
I
about if there was a museum, if there was a wrestling museum in
oh, they talk
Memphis.
about how great, how cool. See, I disagree with like the reasons that the fact that they celebrate the South when they stopped going to the South and when they treated the South like shit. That's when they stopped drawing there. And those people, if you have an area of the country where people are willing to spend money, they're willing to buy your merch, they're willing to pay for autographs. You don't stop going there because like, oh, it's New York is much cooler or whatever. You just keep fucking going there.
Yeah, no, I
These
agree.
are the people
I
willing to
think
like give up their Thanksgivings for you.
yeah, no, you do. You make like a yearly. You don't want to kill that territory, but you want to go there once a year or once every other year or something like that.
Yeah.
Agree. I agree. That so yeah, I would love to check out Memphis just because of wrestling, and I would probably visit Charlotte because of wrestling.
The
And this
Queen.
is where Slamboree is taking place. And let's go right into our first match. It's for our television title. It is Steven Regal, no longer called Lord Steven Regal. He is just Steven Regal, and he is going to be facing the champion Ultimo Dragon, or Ultimate Dragon, as WCW would say, with his manager, Sonny Ono. Mike Snee will join on commentary for this match. Regal is, you noticed Regal is out of shape, right?
Yeah, this is when the drugs are starting. This is when he fucks up the Goldberg match, and this is
Yeah,
when.
yeah,
This is
he's
also around the time there was a pitch, and I think we talked about the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. He was supposed to be in it, and when they made a big deal of him dumping the Lord, I was wondering, like, are they still trying to set up that he's gonna lead the Apocalypse? It was gonna be called Apocalypse, so it's supposed to be Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Benoit, and him. So I was wondering, like, are they still like starting to set that up? You know?
I wouldn't be surprised if they are,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he's even admitted in his book he is noticeably fat, and he's gonna get fat, right? And he's not toned. And William Regal says because he was so on drugs at the time, he didn't realize how out of shape he was, right?
Yeah.
But to his credit, he could still work. And this match with the Dragon, Ultimate Dragon, is good. They start off with good mat work in the beginning. They do screw up like an Irish whip spot that they were supposed to do, but Regal, this is how good Regal is. He improvises, and you can't even tell that they messed up if you watch, but they screw something up, but he improvises, so it looks like it was just part of the match. Ultimo Dragon, he kicks William Regal and he knocks him down. And then William Regal returns and he starts returning kicks. He's like, I'm going to give it to you just as much as I can get. And the Ultimate Dragon has to take a powder outside the ring because William Regal's kicks are too much for the Ultimate Dragon. Regal slaps Dragon. And then Ultimate Dragon returns, slaps Regal. So I like this back and forth, and this gets a big reaction from the crowd. The crowd likes it too. They're like, oh, so if Ultimate Dragon kicks you hard, William Regal's gonna kick you back even harder, and if William Regal's gonna slap you, Dragon's gonna slap you back even harder. It's a competitive match, and Dragon starts giving really hard kicks to William Regal, and believe it or not, there's a Steven Regal chant. I was like, they were chanting for Regal, and I was like, yeah, this guy's he's popular with the crowd. They get on the floor, and Sonny Ono, he gets a couple of kicks in on Steven Regal, and in the storyline of this match, Ultimate Dragon is not happy that his manager is getting involved in this match. You know, it's like his manager is trying to help him, but he's like, nah, he's like, you could tell he doesn't like it. Dragon, he misses a moonsault, and then Steven Regal starts firing back, and they go back and forth with counters. The Dragon tries to slingshot crossbody on the floor, but Steven Regal does that Samoa Joe walkaway thing spot that Samoa Joe probably took it from Steven Regal, but it's a great spot. It's fun. Dragon hits his Asai moonsault from the ring to the floor on the outside by the aisle. Great move. And then Sonny Ono, when the referee's not looking, once again starts kicking Steven Regal with martial arts kicks. Dragon doesn't like this. He puts a stop to it. What Sonny Ono's doing, and he throws William Regal back into the ring. And Sonny Ono doesn't like this. So he kicks his own wrestler. He kicks Ultimate Dragon for stopping him from helping out. This allows Steven Regal to take advantage and hit an inverted suplex. And then he puts on the Regal stretch to win the television title for the fourth time. Sonny Ono looks into the camera and he goes, I make champions and I destroy champions. That was the match. I gave it a B+. What a great opening match. We shit on Sonny Ono all the time. All the time. Shit on him. This was the first time that I thought he was used well as a manager, and he was like a very important role in this match that made this match better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think William Regal, Steven Regal, Lord Steven Regal, the man's man, William Regal. What do you want to call him? He's such a great worker that he can even make Sonny Ono bearable. That's the mark of it. That's the test. That's the new test. That's what I challenge Tony Khan. If we'll hire Sonny Ono, put him instead of Don Callis, put him with those guys, and if Will Ospreay can make a match entertaining with him standing out there, then Will Ospreay's a great worker. That's my challenge, the Sonny Ono challenge. Because sometimes there's been great workers and Sonny Ono just ruins the fucking match. This was really good. We kind of know that whatever they were aiming to do with Steven Regal doesn't happen, but I do think that if he had got, I don't think this is a thing where I won't blame Bischoff and I won't blame Kevin Sullivan. I just think they saw what direct this guy was becoming, and they were like, we got bigger fish to fry, than this fucking guy, which I totally get. But I do see like there was a lot of potential for him become kind of a big deal. This was a very good match. Man, Ultimo Dragon, WCW, like we go on, but when WCW got like people like Ultimo Dragon and Rey Mysterio to put them in the mix, not so much match wise, but with the Macho Man and Hulk Hogan, what a fucking terrific mix! What a terrific mix! And they'll never be mixed like this again.
You know what I like about WCW at this time is like the cruiserweights don't only wrestle the cruiserweights.
Yeah.
Right? Like Eddie Guerrero, you see him in a feud with Diamond Dallas Page, who's not a cruiserweight. You see Ultimo Dragon fighting William Regal in a competitive match, who is Steven Regal, who's not a cruiserweight. And this is what I like seeing them do. So they're in the cruiserweights, but they could also fuck with the big boys if they wanted to, And I thought this was a great usage of wow, all three men, and I do need to give props to your favorite manager of all time, Sonny Ono. He brought it tonight. You know,
I think the
he brought
problem
it here.
I think the problem with Sonny Ono, maybe I'm wrong about this because again, I haven't watched all the Nitros, and who knows what's going to happen with this ESPN deal. Maybe there needs to be a moment where Ultimo Dragon beat the shit out of him, like beat him until he had to be carried away, and they never did that. And
Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder because you would think this is leading to Ultimo or Ultimate Dragon getting his revenge on his former manager, right? But that's kind of weird if they never did that. I wonder why.
and well, probably maybe because he's Bischoff's friend. I don't want to take bumps, Eric. Yeah, whatever, Sonny. Who cares? It's all doesn't
Yeah.
matter. We're gonna be in business for 40 years.
All right, let's go to match number two. We got Luna Vachon, who they built from the other side of darkness. I fucking love that.
Yeah.
That is what a great like wrestling like hometown. The from the other side of darkness. That's
Mhm.
fucking beautiful. Luna Vachon from the other side of darkness versus Medusa. Lee Marshall will join on commentary for this women's match. Luna just beats on Medusa, beats on her. Medusa fires back, hits a lariat, and when she hits this lariat, fucking Luna Vachon lands on her head. I thought she broke her neck. I was like, geez, what a bump she's taking for stupid ass Medusa, who is not that good of a worker, right?
No.
And
Yeah.
but Luna's a pros pro. She's a pros pro. She Luna regains control with with the heel move, thumb to the eye, but then she misses a top rope splash. Medusa hits a German suplex with a bridge, and as the ref's counting the pinfall, she gives Luna Vachon a nice slap on the ass, which I thought was kind of funny. She had her in the bridge, and then she just slaps her in the ass.
That's
Medusa
funny.
wins this match, and after she wins this match, she gets up on the turnbuckles and she rips off her top to show everybody her bra. This was actually a good Medusa match. It was, and I think
Well,
it was because of Luna Vachon, obviously,
because
and it wasn't long. It was short, you know.
it was because of Luna Vachon. So when we get where do you get to WrestleMania 14? You see Sable's first match because of Luna Vachon. How good that match is, you know. Um, Luna Vachon doesn't get the credit that she deserves. But I will say this: I will say that WWF. You can say what you want about Vince, and everyone has. WWF did such a better job of incorporating women, even at their lowest, than WCW does. Because Luna Vachon, there's so much you can do with her in terms of like everything going on in this company right now. And they just kind of have her off to the side, and then she's forgotten about. And then she goes to WWF, she becomes a major part of all the storylines. So I don't know. Yeah, but it was good. Listen, it's about time Medusa had a good match. She only ruined her career a year and a half ago. So
I would say the biggest injustice in wrestling right now is the fact that Luna Vachon is not a Hall of Fame.
she is. She got in the
No,
loser
no,
wing.
I don't count that shit. I don't count the legacy wing. I don't count that. You count that, the legacy wing?
I mean, I don't, but she's in it. I think Sable should be in it. That's as well, definitely.
I don't think even the WWE counts the legacy wing as
I don't
as
count.
the Hall of Fame. I'm being
I think
honest.
Sable and Luna should both be in the Hall of Fame, and they both should have a ceremony.
Yes, yes, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
I think.
Luna is so good. Here's the thing about Luna. Even when I
Mhm.
was a kid, I knew she was really good. I was
Yeah.
like, this woman, like she's so good. Because like when I was a kid, I knew wrestling. It's like at a certain point when I started becoming a like double digits, you start realizing wrestling is not real, right?
Yeah.
But every once in a while, there was an act that would fool me. Like I didn't know if it was real or not, and Luna was one of them. Like I thought, is this woman like legit crazy or is
Oh,
she
she was.
acting?
She was. She
If
was
she's
legit.
acting, it's really fucking good acting, you know? Um, but yeah, Luna Vachon, man, she made this match bearable. So after that, we get Mean Gene Okerlund, who he starts plugging his hotline. Got to make that money, and he goes, "Hey, we got an interim talent coordinator exchange. I don't know what that means." He goes, "Someone's leaving WCW. I wish I could knew who all these people were. It was probably like Vincent or some shit, something like low level, but that's what he's plugging. Anyways, after he plugs this, Randy Savage and Liz, members of the NWO, they come out and they kick Gene out of there. Go, hey Gene, get the hell out of here. Give us your microphone, get the hell out. They get in the ring with the microphone, and Randy Savage says, the NWO, we are the center of the universe. He starts talking about the NWO while the fans are chanting for DDP, and they're chanting for DDP so much that Savage has to address DDP. He's like, oh, you guys want DDP? DDP's scared of me, but he's not. DDP starts coming through the crowd on crutches, and he gets in the ring and he scares Randy Savage out of the ring. Eric Bischoff and the rest of the NWO, they come out by the entrance area, and DDP gets in the microphone and he starts calling Randy Savage Hogan's bitch, which gets even more DDP chants. Savage doesn't have a microphone, but the camera's right there, and he starts telling everybody, all the NWO, hey, everybody, go to the side. Come on. Including Vincent. He goes, go into the ring, attack DDP. So they all start running to the ring. DDP, Savage goes with them, and DDP starts beating up Randy Savage and the NWO with the crutch that he has until Scott Norton kidney punches DDP, and all the NWO starts beating up on DDP. It is a numbers game. It is like 5-on-1. All of a sudden, the Giant runs down, and he makes the save. The crowd is going nuts for this. This was an A segment. Very well done segment.
I liked DDP's line, and then Shivani saying, that's what we all thought at one point or the other. Like, do you have to wash Hogan's car? And I like that is what snaps Randy to be like, I'm going in the ring. Because it's like he mentions Liz and that doesn't bother him, but when he mentions like you're always gonna be Hogan's bitch, I like that made Randy go. It's Randy Savage is really good. DDP is coming to his own. I'll tell you else who's really good, who's been impressing me more and more in 1997. And man, I wonder if he knows they did him dirty.
Vincent?
No, yes, Vincent. Big Show, Giant. Big Show, the Giant. He, every month, he has more and more aura. He knows what he's doing. He had it figured out, and then they fucking put doubt in his head in 99, 2000, and he never was this good ever again. Because they were like, well, you didn't learn the WWF way. And it's like, just suck my fucking balls, all right?
No, he was good. Yeah, he was somebody who was improving every year. Every pay-per-view we were watching, he's like improving,
Yeah. And then he collapses because of Undertaker and Vince and Triple H and all these other fucking idiots.
Yeah, I think so. I think WWE has a way of killing your confidence, kind of like what they did with Vader. They did that with Vader, right? They did it with Vader. They did it with Mark Merrill, right? If you read Chris Jericho's book, they try to do it with him, right? Something about wrestlers are catty, and I think in WWF, anybody who's new was coming in, they loved trying to break them down like mentally, They did it to Chris Candido. They do it to a lot of fucking guys, and you have to, unfortunately, you have to be like, you have to like man up and power through that shit. It's the survival of the fittest kind of over there, right?
Yeah, and you kind of, I wish Big Show, and I don't know how long this would have got him, but if I was Big Show, and Undertaker's being like, you do this wrong, you do that wrong, I'd be like, no, actually, I do everything right. I actually do everything right because when I was headlining, I was beating you on pay-per-view by hundreds of thousands of buys. So I actually do. Actually, you need to learn from me, Mark Calloway, because I'm doing everything right.
Yeah, you know what I would say to that is like, where WWE, they're trying to break it down mentally and break down your psyche to see how strong you are. Why it's stupid is because it's unnecessary. Like, you don't need to do that. Like, just let the guy Like, why do you need to do that? They're already on your team. Just make money with this guy. Why are you
because
trying to break him down? Like, see,
you know what?
I told you this guy didn't have it. Like, why? Why are you trying
You
to
know what?
prove
You
that
know
he didn't
what?
have it? It's stupid.
Big Show said when he jumped to AEW and he did the Jericho podcast. He goes, "They still treated me like I was Mr. WCW even in 2021." And it's like, how long do I have to be with this fucking company till you treat me like I'm a WWF legend? You know,
Who said this?
Big Show to Chris Jericho. Like I still got
Oh,
treated like Mr. WCW.
yeah. It's you know what it is. It's so fucking like it's little dick energy.
Yeah,
And that's it's the best way to say it is like you're very insecure. That's why like you're not professional enough to just the guy's already working in the same company as you. Can you imagine you're working at a company and they hire somebody new who's not he's somebody they hire somebody new so that you can work with and you guys can both make money together and you go no I gotta fucking test this motherfucker to see if he has it in him and you completely fucking kill his confidence that he's not a good worker anymore and then you go see I told you he didn't have it like that's stupid that's the dumb it's like what are you in high school actually
yeah.
yeah wrestling is high school they always say that wrestling is high that's what you do in high school fucking so stupid so stupid to be fair WCW wasn't any better. They also did
No,
stupid shit.
I know, but it's just like he's better than I thought. I kind of thought that I was gonna like I was gonna be like half asleep during all the Giant matches when he entered the fray in '95, and the guy has gotten better. The guy right now in May of '97 is the best he's ever been, and like he's way better than how he is like 3, 4, 5 years from now. You know?
Yeah, yeah, and his fans are super behind him too. Fans are
Yeah.
super. He's super hot. He's super hot. Yeah. So yeah, great segment with DDP is super over, Giant is super over, and people want to see the NW. Most importantly, the people want to see NWO get what's coming to them. If if anything about this pay per view tells us, if you can learn anything from Slamboree 1997, it's that people want to see the NWO get what's coming to them. And the
Yeah.
fact that Eric Bischoff didn't understand that, he's a fucking idiot. It's clear as day. It's clear as day here. I don't know how you don't fucking know that. It's just it boggles my mind. So anyway, let's get back to what's going on in this pay per view. Mike Tenay he's gonna join on commentary for the next match, and he tells us this next match is going to have Rey Mysterio, who's only 22 years old at this time. He's 22 years old in this match, and he's got problems with the NWO member Six, and he wants Six, but he's not going to get Six here. He's going to get somebody else. He is going to get Yuji Yashura, who is 26 years old, and he is from Japan, and he debuted in WCW the night previously, a Saturday night for WCW Saturday Night Show. I have never heard of this guy before. Yuji Yashura Oka. Have you ever heard of this guy before?
I never heard this guy before. I never saw him before, and I've never heard Dave Meltzer talk about him. I've never heard anything about him. But you know what? You know who filled me in on this guy? You know who like really taught me a lot and really got me to appreciate this young man was Mike Tenay, who
Yeah.
immediately starts telling you why you should give a shit that this guy's in the fucking ring. Whereas in AEW, they would just yell at you that you should know who this is because you should be just jerking off to wrestling all day. And I got really invested in this match. What a great match this was.
Yeah. So Yuji Yashura Oka, he is from War. He is from
Yeah.
Tenru's wrestling company, which was Wrestling and Romance War. He's gonna be fading Rey Mysterio. And Yuji starts off with some weak looking kicks. They don't look good. And he starts beating up on Rey Mysterio. What's really funny about this match, I don't know if you picked up on it. In the beginning of this match, Dusty Rhodes does not like Yuji. He doesn't like him. He Dusty Rhodes goes out of his way to bury this guy. He goes, I saw this guy last night on Saturday nights, WCW show. He didn't show me enough. Like, he
You
goes,
didn't show me enough.
he did. That's what Dusty said. He goes, he didn't show me enough. He didn't show me enough last night. I don't know about this guy. I don't think he's gonna beat him. And he does like a lazy cover to Rey Mysterio, and Dusty's like, see, you're not gonna beat Rey Mysterio like that. Um, There's this cool spot that Rey Mysterio will do often, but this is one of the first times he's doing it that I'm seeing on pay-per-view. Is where Yuji is he's on the floor, he's on the outside of the ring, and Rey wants to do like a plancha, but the referee's like, no, no, you're not gonna jump on this guy, and the referee starts counting, facing Yuji, and he's kind of bent over. So Rey Mysterio does like a somersault plancha over the referee to the floor. It's a great spot. Fans love it. Just the fact that like you're doing it over the referees is like looks really cool. Um, so he hits that, and then Yuji kind of starts putting on some really good moves. He starts, he's not. I don't care what Dusty says, but this guy can work. He can put on some good
Yeah.
moves. He puts on an arm bar. I don't know if you noticed. After he hits a whole bunch of good moves, he puts on an arm bar on Rey Mysterio, and Dusty goes, "He's not gonna get the win." Dusty doesn't like him at all.
Maybe that's
So
why we don't. Maybe that's why we never really saw this guy again.
yeah, here's something else that happened on commentary that was really interesting. So as you mentioned, Mike Tenay is on commentary, and he's giving us a lot of background on Yuji, and he tells us that in Japan, Yuji's tag team partner is actually Lance Storm, who is Chris Jericho's former tag team partner. And here's the thing that's really interesting about this. Up until this point in 1997, Lance Storm has never been in WCW at all. So it's like, why would you even mention this? You know?
Hmm.
It,
Yeah.
he,
Well,
like,
I think Mike Tenay's the type of guy. Whereas if it behooved his storytelling to tell you about WWE, he's going to. Like, you know what I mean? In other words, like if some guy shows up out of nowhere and this guy was partners with Steve Austin in fucking Dallas, he's gonna say that. He's just gonna say it. I think he has that
oh,
permission.
so
Yeah.
when Mike Tenay was saying this, I thought, wait a minute, did Lance Storm already wrestle in WCW? Because I was like, I could have sworn Lance Storm shows up in like 2000. So I had to look it up. And then yeah, I was right. He only showed up in 2000. So I was like, why the fuck did he mention him? He made such a good, like, it was like such a matter of fact point, like to mention Lance Storm. So I thought that was very strange.
Well, I think
But
also
yeah,
he probably also well, here's the other scary thing. I wouldn't be surprised if nobody knew that he was in ECW because he's barely like a main character in ECW
oh
at this
yeah, no,
point.
he's just a sub in ECW. So that would be like, dude, that would be like if you were watching AEW right now and they were
Hmm.
like, Minoru Suzuki, who's coming in from New Japan, he's wrestling Will Ospreay on a one-off in Dynamite. Did you know Minoru Suzuki's usual tag team partner is Jeffrey Hill?
Yeah.
And you'll be like, who the fuck is Jeffrey Hill? Like, right? Like, who the fuck is this guy? Is he wrestling? Does he ever wrestle in AEW? No, it makes no sense. That's kind of like what it was. It was just weird. It was just weird. I just thought that was kind of weird. But um, anyway, I got to move on. So
Yeah.
Yuji, he has control of this match, and he starts working on Rey Mysterio's right arm. And this is the point where Dusty starts liking him. I guess because he's working on a body part. He goes, I like that. He's working on that. He's working on the right arm. I like that. Um, Yuji also hits a plancha onto the floor, and then he hits a double arm DDT that only gets a 2 count. And then he starts arguing with the referee, which is a big no-no because this allows Rey Mysterio to reverse and hit two double arm. He hits a second double arm DDT himself, and then they do good back and forth. And then Rey Mysterio catches Yuji with a kick to the guts, and then he hits his West Coast pop, that springboard Hurricanrana cover to win the match. After this match is over, Rey Mysterio looks at the camera and he says, uh, "No one, no Japanese is coming here to intimidate Mexico or American wrestlers. We are the best." Um, and that's the match. I gave this a B. This was actually a pretty good match. I like this as well.
This was a pretty good match, you know. I mean, this guy is so obscure. I know about it, dude. I know about everybody. I mean, I'm walking around thinking about Mantar half the day, but I never even heard of this guy. And he comes in. Mike Tenay tells you exactly what to expect. Him and Ray, they do great network. They do great back and forth wrestling, and I'm invested. In the middle of it, I get really invested, and that's a sign of a good worker, and that's a sign of a good presentation. You know, like a lot of times, I think a guy coming out of nowhere that no one knows about, you would just lose interest. But this match, I was all in. And too bad we didn't see more of this guy in WCW, but I guess Dusty Rhodes hated his fucking guts. So.
Well, actually, we're never going to see him again because this is his last WCW match, and
Yeah.
Yuji Yashura Oka will retire in 1999. So
Wow, that's pretty fast.
yeah, it's pretty fast. So this guy's kind of like he's kind of like just like a quick in and out. You're never gonna see
Yeah,
him again. And that's it. Yeah. He
that's it for him.
That's it for him. Yeah, we're never gonna see him again. Let's go to match number 4. It is Mortis with his manager James Vanderberg, who's slowly but surely becoming Ray's second favorite manager.
Oh
Uh,
god.
versus Glacier. Um, this is like the Mortal Kombat match, and Glacier, he starts getting kicked around in the beginning of this match, and then Mortis, he signals for someone, and he signals for Wrath, who comes out, um, who's also another member of James Vanderberg's stable. But this this kind of distraction kind of allows Glacier to fight back, and he starts taking control. And then Wrath, um, he gets in the ring and he attacks Glacier with Mortis's Mortis has like a staff, right? Like a skull staff, and he uses that to attack Glacier, which calls for a DQ. It's a DQ, right? So then Mortis and Raph, they start double teaming Glacier, and then they take Glacier outside, and they hit the Mortis hits the Famouser, Billy Gunn's move on Glacier on the steel steps, and then they throw him back in the ring. James Vanderberg, he starts mocking Glacier because he has Glacier's helmet, right? He stole Glacier's helmet and he's like mocking him with it. All of a sudden, a fan kind of comes in and he starts kicking everybody to save. And commentary's like, who is this? Is this a fan? Is this a fan? And then commentary team goes, hey, wait a minute. That's not just any fan. That's Ernest Miller. He is the full contact karate tournament champion. What is he doing here? And this is the intro to Ernest Miller. And I thought this was a great. This is not a good match because it's short and it ends in DQ. It's stupid, but it's a great way to introduce a new character. And because of that, I gave this a B. I enjoyed it. You know, it did its job. The purpose of what this is supposed to do, I thought it was done very well. What about you? What did you think?
I liked Ernest the Cat Miller's debut. I mean, his kicks were pretty good. He had a big
Yes.
pump. I can't get into Glacier. I can't get into Mortis. I can't get into James Vanderbeek. First of all, you know what? This would
James
be a lot
Van.
better if somebody besides James Vanderbeek or whatever the fuck his name was there. If they had like Paul, if they somehow they got Paul Bearer to be involved, it would have been much better. This guy just doesn't have it. Some of these guys just hang around wrestling because like when he retires or dies, they're gonna call him like a wrestling legend. He just hung around. He's not good. He's not good. He actively takes away from everything, and he stinks. I don't like him.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the Sinister Minister. I always thought he was somebody who, who he reminded me of? He reminded me of. Do you know who Julius Smokes is?
Yeah,
Yeah, if you guys don't know, Julius Smokes is a manager on the Indies. Primarily, he was a manager in Ring of Honor for like guys like Homicide and stuff. I never liked Julius Smokes because Julius Smokes as a manager was more focused on getting himself over than doing his job, right?
yeah.
He was trying to like get over as a character and be like, "Hey, look at me. Don't look at the wrestlers. Look at me. Look at me." And Vanderberg gives off that kind of energy. So I didn't like him, but I thought this was a great way to debut Ernest Miller. And the fact that commentary teams were like, "Hey, that's Ernest Miller. He is the full contact karate tournament champion. What's he doing here?" Like that is great because now it like, oh, that's why this guy's kicks look so fucking good.
Yeah.
He could Cat when he was in his prime, he could move. And it was like, damn, this guy, he was spot on. I was a I when I was watching WCW, I was an Ernest the Cat Miller fan. How about you?
Sometimes I was, sometimes I wasn't. I definitely think that they made the right move hiring him in WWE. I think they could have done more with him. I think he
Yeah,
was the guy
they should have done more with him too. Yeah, they did it.
yeah, he was the guy that had a big upside, and they didn't like they didn't. It was weird how they had him. You know, he was a commentator for like a year before he got in the ring, and then they fired him.
Yeah, he was like a commentator for Velocity.
Yeah, first he did SmackDown for a little bit out of nowhere. Like that one week, like Taz was sick, and they just have him there, and then he did Velocity for a year, and so it was his career was very strange in WWE.
Yeah,
But you know, it's going to be interesting to see him evolve. There were moments I thought he had a lot of potential, and I thought he's like a star. And there are other moments where you're like, the fact that this guy has one of the biggest pushes on the show shows you how many people they've lost. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
dude, by the year 2000, he's like a major, major character.
Oh yeah, he's like he becomes like general manager and all this shit. You know, it's
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's like.
a little crazy how
But
big
I
he.
won't lie to you. That's when I was enjoying him. I was like, you know what? He's like he's not like amazing, but he's very like you know what you're gonna get with this guy. He's
You
gonna
know what I
say,
think?
"Somebody call my mama," and he's gonna do a little dance, and he's gonna kick
Yeah.
a bunch of people. And to me, that's enough. You know, that was
You
enough. I
know
was
what
like,
I
yeah,
think he realized? He
what?
realized like, hey, everyone's gone, and this is my only chance to like really become like a top guy in this company because everyone seems to be leaving and no one's watching. So he made everything work, no matter what they gave him, and they're gonna give him, bro. They're gonna give him a lot of bullshit, and he made it all work because it's like I'm not gonna have this opportunity again. Like I
Yeah,
was, I was barely on Thunder, and now I'm like the main character of the show, and he just made it work. No matter what garbage they handed him, he fucking went all in. So
yeah. Like he when they gave him the ball, he ran with it, 100%. Yeah.
yeah,
All right. So after this, we have Mean Gene Oakland. He wants to talk to he's like, oh my god, he's Mean Gene is by the entrance when he goes, I want to talk to the karate champion, Ernest Miller, or one of the ring attendants. He's horny again. Uh and he goes, and he plugs his hotline. He goes like, "Hey, one of the wrestlers, one of the WCW wrestlers is ready to either hit the ropes or fucking hit the road. Somebody's leaving. Call the hotline. You figure out who it is." I don't like this horny Mean Gene Okerlund. It pops up every once in a while on WCW. I don't like it. He's like,
I think that was naturally who he was.
yeah, he's like, what's going on? I gotta talk to Ernest Miller. I want to talk to him or one of those ring attendants. It's like, what the like, just do your job, dude, right? Yeah, like I get you wanting to talk to Ernest Miller. He just jumped in out of nowhere, but all of a sudden you lose your he loses his train of thought because it is hot girls. He's like, oh, I want to talk to the women. It's so stupid.
Oh, come
Um,
here.
all right, so here we're gonna go to another championship match. It is our fifth match. It is for the U.S. title. You got Jeff Jarrett who comes out with Deborah McMichael and Tony Schiavone. He does mention Jeff Jarrett is a member of the Horsemen. He is representing as the Horsemen in this match versus the U.S. champion Dean Malenko. I like how the beginning of this match we get a very loud Jarrett sucks chant
Oh,
early
well,
on.
he tried.
And Jeff Jarrett's like looking around like bewildered, like, wait a minute, are they chanting that I suck? Like he's legit like confused. I guess because he's like in Charlotte and he's a horseman, so he thought by proxy he would get cheered. I guess that's what he's thinking, but
Mhm.
it's not happening. It's not happening. They hate him. Um, there's this move. Dean Malenko is so good. Remember, 1997 is the year Dean Malenko is ranked best wrestler out of the top 500 wrestlers, right? And in this match, he early on he does this thing where he's in a head scissor and he just beautifully floats right out of it and turns it into an STF. It's just great the way he does it. He starts working Jeff Jarrett's left knee. It's fantastic. Deborah helps Jeff Jarrett get some leverage on an abdominal stretch, but then Dean gets out of it. And when he gets out of it, one more time, the crowd starts chanting, Jarrett sucks again.
Does. That's true.
Good back and forth, though. He does. You may think he sucks, but I thought these two are having a good back and forth in this match. And then Jeff Jarrett, um, he gets on the figure four, but Dean Malenko gets the ropes, and this gets cheers from the crowd. And then we get another very loud Jared sucks chant. Another one. This one's louder than other ones. And then Jeff Jarrett and Dean Malenko, they actually knock heads, and Jeff Jarrett falls out of the ring onto the floor. At this time, Mongo, he comes down, and Mongo shoves Jeff Jarrett back into the ring, and then he grabs Deborah and he takes her away. And he goes, "Come on, you can't be wasting time here. You got to be with me. I got to get ready for my match." So he takes Deborah away from this match. In the ring, Dean Malenko hits a Tiger Bomb on Jeff Jarrett. Then he puts on the Texas Cloverleaf to win the match. Um, this was, in my opinion, so far up to this point, the best Jeff Jarrett match I've seen. And this is really thanks to the best pro wrestler of 1997, Dean Malenko. I gave this a B plus. This was a very fun match to watch. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, Dean Malenko is on a hot streak. Jeff Jarrett, listen, you put Jeff Jarrett in the ring with someone who's ready to go, and I think this applies for even today. So I'm going to give this guy credit. You put Jeff Jarrett in the ring with someone who knows what they're doing, he's going to rise to the occasion. He's not going to collapse. However, you put Jeff Jarrett in the ring with someone who's just like whatever, not feeling it, he collapses. You know. So Dean Malenko, I mean, we're in the summer of '97. This is his prime era. Of course, he's going to deliver. This was a great match. I am ready for Mongo and Jeff Jarrett to move on from one another, but that's not going to happen for a long. These two have like a vortex for most of Jarrett's '97 run. But yeah,
Yeah. Excuse me. All right, let's go to our sixth match. This is a death match.
yes,
We got Meng who comes out, and his manager is Jimmy Hart, and Meng sends Jimmy Hart back. He goes, "This is a death match. I don't need you here." So he sends Jimmy Hart back. Thank God. Um, Jimmy Hart being out there, I think, would have really could have hurt this match. I think, right? But he sends Jimmy Hart back, and Meng is going to be taking on Chris Benoit, who comes out with Woman, and Nancy Benoit. She was you they did a Dark Side of the Ring for her, well, the whole Chris Benoit thing, and the big takeaway they had at the end of it was that what Chris Benoit did was terrible, but the worst part about one of the worst things about that was that it erased everything Nancy did in wrestling, right?
yeah,
And because they said she was actually really good at her job. And they were like, she deserves to be recognized in wrestling, and instead of being erased because of what somebody else did. And when you watch this, Nancy does a great job of looking concerned. Remember, this is a death match, whatever the fuck that means at this point, right?
yeah,
And usually when they're walking towards the ring, Nancy's just like doing this mean mug and looking at the camera, right? At this point, she's walking down and she keeps looking at Chris Benoit like she's worried about what's about to happen, you know? And they get in the ring, and Chris Benoit and woman Nancy, who are now everybody knows that they're together, they do this thing where they stare at each other for a really long time because they don't know what's about to happen, right? They don't know
mhm,
how bad this match is going to be for Chris. And Chris Benoit signals to Nancy, no matter what happens, do not throw in the towel for me. All right. It's
yeah.
a beautiful moment between these two. It's crazy. When I was watching this, I was like, I can't believe like he's gonna kill her. Like ultimately, like he's gonna
You
kill her.
can't see it coming.
Yeah, you like when you watch this, they look like they're so in love, and I'm like, I can't believe this guy 20 years from now is gonna kill this woman. It's unbelievable. Um, is it 20 years from now or 15 years from now? Whatever the fuck it is, right?
Uh,
It's just
2007, so 18 years ago, he murdered her.
Jesus. Yeah. No, from 1997.
Oh, 10 years. It's 10 years away to
10
murder.
years. And 10 years yeah, 10 years later, he's gonna murder her. But man, I was like, it's gonna be this moment they have together
You know what?
before the match
You know,
begins. It's amazing.
you know what's depressing to me about this whole Benoit stuff is so no one knows the archives are going to wind up, right? But the thing people have heard because on the WCW YouTube channel they will not re-upload any pay-per-views or nitros with a Benoit segment. They just won't upload it. And my concern is when they do go to ESPN, let's say the archives move there. I don't know if these Benoit shows are going to be re-uploaded like this show Or if they do get re-uploaded, they might edit out this match, and that's depressing to me. Not just because of Nancy, but because Ming Haku, he's having a great match as well, and it's going to be lost to time due to all these corporate mergers. And look, I get like it's kind of hard to say to ESPN, well, we really want all the murderers matches on your thing, but I also kind of feel like, man, he didn't work alone in a bubble. Like he had, like if you count the cameramen, the commentators, the wrestlers, the managers, everyone worked together with this guy, and all their work to just vanish. I think it's just such bullshit. It's very depressing, you know.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It is. There's a big possibility of that happening as this. You're right. The corporate mergers and stuff like that. It is. It's unfortunate because this is a fantastic match. Um,
Awesome. Great.
yeah, and you know what? You know what's crazy? Okay, so right after they have this moment where Nancy's looking longingly into Chris Benoit's eyes, like this might be the last time I'm gonna see you. I don't know what's gonna happen in this match. And Chris is like, "Don't throw in the towel." Meng just starts beating the shit out of Chris Benoit. Like he's overwhelming him um, early. Miss Jacqueline, she comes out, and remember, if you guys know, she has problems with Nancy, the woman, and woman stares off at her as she has come out. Chris Benoit is able to power out of a half crab to the ropes, and when he gets the ropes, Bobby the Brain Heenan starts questioning. So when he grabs the ropes in the half crab, the referee counts to like 4, and he goes, "All right, take the hold off." And Bobby the Brain Heenan starts questioning, "Why is the ref counting? This is a death match. There's no disqualification. Anything goes. And there's no DQ, dummy." He says that on commentary. He goes, "There's no DQ, dummy." And here's the thing. He's got a point. They were saying it's no DQ. So why the fuck are you grabbing the ropes? That makes exactly he's right. Chris Benoit, we get Benoit chants. People don't know about the murder yet, so they start going Benoit, Benoit, and then Chris starts firing up. He hits the crossface, and then Meng gets a rope break. Meng breaks the ropes, and the referee breaks up the crossface. And once again, on commentary, Bobby the Brain Heenan's like, "Why is the ref breaking up these submission holds when they grab the rope?" And Dusty starts, Tony Schiavone starts what do you call it? Saying, "Yeah, that doesn't make any sense." I don't know if somebody told him on the earpiece, but Dusty finally covers, and he goes, "Well, uh, rope breaks are actually part of the stipulations in this match. It's no DQ for everything else, but rope breaks are allowed." Like, so just that on commentary, just saying that, I was like, all right, we excuse this bullshit. Um, I thought that was a good cover because I like my shit to make sense. Like, I like my shit to make sense, you know?
Yeah.
So Meng, he just beating the shit out of Chris Benoit. Just beat him up. Um, um, Meng's bigger and he's just like more powerful. So just beating up Chris Benoit, and then Chris Benoit, like he's beaten down, but he slowly gets up and he screams at Meng, "Come on!" And this just gets Meng to come and just beat the shit out of him even more. But then, but then somehow Meng gets on the outside and Chris Benoit does a suicide dive onto Meng, and then he hits. Uh, they get up on the turnbuckle back in the ring, and he hits a second turnbuckle German suplex, and then he gets up on the top rope to hit a flying headbutt onto Meng. But when he does, Meng kind of has his hand up and he catches Chris Benoit in a Tongan death grip when he does the flying headbutt. And Chris Benoit passes out from the Tongan death grip. After the match, Woman and the officials, they come in to check up on Chris Benoit because, you know, he got his ass kicked. This was, in my opinion, a very good match. I gave this match an A minus. This was
This
fantastic.
was the best match I've ever seen Ming have. It just goes to show you that, you know, don't you give up with some of these guys. You know, sometimes I would see Ming walk out and I'd be like, oh, here we fucking go. You know? And you put them with the right worker, they can deliver. And
Yeah,
Benoit was the right worker for the time. You know, I don't understand because I when I got back into WCW '98, I didn't see it all, but I didn't watch '97. I don't understand how Bischoff and fucking these other idiots weren't sitting there being like, when we finally destroy the NWO, it's got to be Benoit and Malenko involved if they're helping. It's just got to be. It's just got to be. And they don't do it. But oh man, this match was so good. This was so good. I did not expect a Ming match to be this good, bro.
Yeah, it was really good. This is probably up until this point the best Ming match I've ever seen. This is
And
crazy because
they
I'm
have a
almost
rematch
on.
next month at the Great American Bash, brother.
Oh well, see, this crazy is so far in this Slammiversary. This is the best I've ever seen Sonny Ono. This is the best I've ever seen Medusa. This is the best I've ever seen Jeff Jarrett. It's the best I've ever seen Meng. This is why I'm saying I think this is like the best pay per view I've ever watched. Like up the WCW pay per view I've watched up to this point. It's so
They're,
good.
they're,
Things are just
they're bringing it, Oos. They're bringing it.
everyone's bringing it. Yeah. It keeps the ante keeps getting up per match. And let's go to match number 7. We got Conan and Hugh Morris, who are stablemates from the Dungeon of Doom or whatever the fuck they are. And they're coming out with their manager, Jimmy Hart. As they're coming out, a fan fucking knocks Conan's hat off his head, which I thought was really. He has to go pick it up. So anyway, Conan and Hugh Morris, they're gonna go up against the Steiner brothers. Hugh Morris and Scott Steiner start off, and what was really good, Tony Schiavone on commentary, he was like, normally when the Steiner brothers, what do you call it, wrestle, you will see Scott Steiner will always start the match, and Rick Steiner will dictate the pace of this match. And that's a very good observation by Tony Schiavone because that's exactly how it happens. Scott starts the match, and he's up there against Hugh Morris, who's a big fucking guy, but it doesn't make a difference. Scott Steiner still fucking suplexes the shit out of this guy. Great suplex by Scott Steiner, and then Rick comes in and he hits an even better looking suplex on Hugh Morris. To the point, Hugh Morris has to go outside the ring to regain his like composure. And Jimmy Hart's like, brother, you could take him. You could take him. Don't worry. I was like, this is impressive. Hugh Morris is a big fucking fat guy, and they're just throwing him around like he's a cruiserweight. Um, the Steiner brothers, they beat up on both Hugh Morris and they start beating up on Conan as well until Jimmy Hart trips up Scott Steiner for when he's running the ropes for the heels to finally start getting an edge. Rick Steiner hot tags in and he starts cleaning up house. But then Rick Steiner eats a big clothesline from Hugh Morris that stops his momentum. Hugh Morris goes up on the top rope and he hits his moonsault, but he misses the moonsault, which allows Scott Steiner to hit the Frankensteiner to win the match. But here's the problem. If you watch this, Hugh Morris was actually the illegal man. Conan was the legal man. But they pinned Hugh Morris. It doesn't matter. The Steiner brothers win. Afterwards, Conan looks pissed off. He looks annoyed. He attacks Hugh Morris afterwards. He shoves Jimmy Hart out of the way, basically quitting this group. I gave this match a B. This was still a fun match to watch. I liked it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I didn't really like this match as much, but I'll tell you what it does. It gets Conan into the NWO where he was meant to be. He feels so out of place with Hugh Morris and Jimmy Hart. It
Yeah.
just doesn't fit at all. And they had to get him out of there. He is NWO through and through. So one of the guys that totally belongs with Hall, Nash, Hogan, and all them. So yeah, I'm excited. I think in the summer he joins the New World Order. He's an NWO guy. He's NWO for life, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm excited for
Yeah.
that. But other than that, I saw the Steiners come out. I was like, oh, we're gonna. It was okay. It's not as good. They're gonna break up in less than a year. I kind of want to see some more Steiner classics, and they haven't really been giving us classics.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. This is not the best Steiner Brothers match you'll ever see, but this match is entertaining for just a few reasons. Number one, you're getting to watch the Steiner Brothers throw people around, right? And that's always fun, right? And it progresses a storyline at the end of the match, right?
Yeah.
That's going to lead to bigger and better things. So if you just take those two into account, I'm like, yeah, this was a good match. It's not the best, but it's still pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to our what do you call it? Our penultimate match, our second to last match. It is Mongo, who comes out with Deborah, his wife, and he's going to be facing the NFL football player Reggie White. And when Mongo comes out, there are a lot of Horseman fans in this ring. It's just really funny because they're in Charlotte, North Carolina, Flair country, and Jeff Jarrett, who's a Horseman, when he came out, he just got Jarrett sucks chants the whole time. But when Mongo comes out, he is cheered. He's loved by the Horsemen, which I thought was kind of funny. Um, um, so Reggie White, he comes out with his Coach Kent Johnson, and the commentary team tells us this is the match of two Super Bowl champions. They're both Super Bowl champions. So I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. Um, Mongo early on, he's just toying around with Reggie White early on. He doesn't think Reggie's gonna be any kind of threat to him. And they try to do the tackles, and neither can knock each other down. They're both powerful. So in the third collision, Mongo does fall down, and this gets cheers from the crowd. And Mongo's like, "Oh shit, this guy knocked me down." He goes, "All right, you know what? We weren't playing fair. Let's do a football stance. I want to do a football stance face off." And when they do, Mongo basically have suckered in Reggie White, and he chop blocks Reggie White. And he starts signaling to the crowd, "See, I'm smarter. This is why I'm going to beat Reggie White. I'm smarter." Reggie White gets up and he goes, "You know what? Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do the football stance again." And Mongo's like, "Are you this guy for real?" "Yeah, I'll do it again. I'll fucking chop block you again." No, not the second time around. Reggie White leapfrogs over Mongo and then lariats him out of the ring. This annoys Mongo because the crowd is super behind Reggie White, and Reggie White has now got the best of him 2 times. So Reggie White tries to leave. As he's leaving, NFL football player Gilbert Brown comes in and he carries Mongo back to the ring, and Reggie White unfortunately, he has a terrible looking drop kick, which gets a 2 count, but still, crowd super into it. There's Reggie chants going on. There's Mongo chants going on because people still like Mongo, even though he's playing the heel. And as they start wrestling, Mongo is in control of this match because Mongo has more wrestling experience, right? So he has main control of this match. There's a fun spot. There's a fun spot where Mongo has Reggie White in an armbar, and I don't know. Do you know? By the way, did you know? Do you know a lot about Reggie White, Ray?
I know he's a famous football player.
Okay, in the 90s, I remember Reggie White from so many things because Reggie White was he was mainstream. Do you remember he used to do those Campbell soup commercials? Remember that? Where his mom
Yeah, I do. Yes.
Yeah, where his mom would be in a cheerleader outfit and she would come to try to make sure her son Reggie White would eat his Campbell soup during the middle of the game and stuff like that. Not only that, Reggie White used to do these infomercials about Jesus and stuff that would come on TV all the time. Because Reggie White is a reverend. He was very, very public about his faith. And he would do these commercials about oh, turn your life over to Jesus. The reason why I mention this is because it was everywhere. Everybody knew this about Reggie White, that he was a super big Christian. And when Mongo has Reggie White in his armbar, he says, "Jesus may have your soul, but I got your ass," which was a fantastic line. And all this does is pisses off Reggie White, and Reggie White starts firing up, and he starts firing back, and Mongo's in trouble. However, Mongo does clip Reggie White's leg again, and he starts working on his right leg, and Reggie gets the double trapezes hold on Mongo to kind of regain control. That's all he could do. Reggie White's not really a wrestler, so he just puts that nerve hold on you. Mongo, Mongo's getting his ass kicked at this point, so he starts begging, and he goes, "Reggie, I'll go to church. I'll go to church," which I love. That shit was awesome. He's like, "I'll go to church, Reggie, I promise." And you know what's the funniest part about that? Him saying that does stop Reggie White from furthering the attack, right? Because remember, he's supposed to be super Christian. So this allows Mongo to low blow fucking Reggie White. And then he goes, "I bet you're hearing church bells now." Mongo's a total asshole, right? Mongo goes up on top, And when he goes up on the top rope, because now he's cocky, Reggie White regains his composure and he throws Mongo off the top turnbuckle and he starts mounting a comeback and he clotheslines him out the ring. However, Mongo pulls Reggie White out the ring and they start fighting on the floor. And when they're on the floor, Mongo is, he starts getting the upper hand because he got more experience of how to fucking work the ring. And then Reggie White, however, suplexes back in the ring. He suplexes Mongo, and then he splashes Mongo. But when he's got the cover, Deborah starts distracting the referee. Mongo gets his what do you call it? His briefcase, right? His Horseman briefcase that's made out of metal, and he goes to like hit Reggie White with it. But Gilbert Brown, remember the NFL player who who came down? He
Yeah.
takes the suitcase from Mongo and Mongo, when he takes the suitcase from Mongo, Mongo grabs the referee and he points out Gilbert. Look, he's got the suitcase. He was trying to hit me with the suitcase. So the referee's distracted with Gilbert Brown. This allows Jeff Jarrett to come out and he throws another metal suitcase at Mongo. And Mongo uses that metal suitcase to clobber Reggie White on the head to knock him out to win the match. I had to look this up because I was like, I want to see how long Mongo's been wrestling. Mongo debuted. His pro wrestling debut was June 1996. So it's
Yeah.
been he's been wrestling less than a year, right? Because this is May 1997. So he's technically been professionally wrestling for less than a year. And he is already good enough to be leading a pay-per-view match with somebody who is not a wrestler at all. Okay, that would be like Enzo Amore leading a match with like Logan Paul back in like 2016 or something.
Yeah. So I gotta say, this match, I was not looking forward to ever watching this match.
Mm-hmm.
I love this match, and I'll tell you why I love this match. So I thought SummerSlam Night One, Jelly Roll had the best match on the show, and I'll still go by that. But Jelly Roll, he's wrestling. He's doing spots. He's basically like they're making him copy what, and no offense to Eric Rowan or fucking Triple H, or like it's like, hey, we can teach you how to do this like Triple H or Randy Orton did it. But it's not what I like about this Reggie White match with Steve McMichael. Reggie White is just fighting. He's not a wrestler. And this is
Yeah.
kind of like, this would be a realistic way of, if Reggie White wants to get in the ring, this is what he would do. He's not going to jump off the top rope through a table. He's not going to do all this other bullshit that Shawn Michaels and Triple H show them how to do. I just want to beat this guy up and pin him and then go home. That's what I want to do. And that's what I like so much about this match. And you're right, man. Like, Mongo only been wrestling for a year. He leads this guy into a match. They don't do anything above what they're capable of doing. And to me, I enjoyed this match more than anything Logan Paul has done, than anything Jelly Roll has done. It feels like a real fight. And the Jelly Roll match, it just felt like Jelly Roll was pretending to be like, I don't know, fucking, like Ricky Starks or something, teaming with Randy Orton,
Yeah, I know what you said. You made a very good point. This is, even though this is a celebrity match like the Jelly Roll match, it's a very different match because Jelly Roll is more like, it's fun because you're seeing him do all these wrestling moves that they rehearse.
Mm-hmm.
This is more like, hey, we can't do crazy wrestling moves, so we're gonna tell a story in the ring that's just as compelling as if we were doing crazy moves.
Yeah.
And I prefer this style of wrestling better. Wrestling's supposed to be storytelling, and I love the story they're telling in the ring. And any of these stupid podcasters who said that Mongo was not a good wrestler, even when he fucking died, they need to watch this match. And every time you watch a match with a celebrity that's good, and they go, "Oh, it's because it's the other guy was leading the match." Who's leading this match? Is it Reggie White? It's fucking Mongo. Mongo's the one who's probably reminding Reggie White where to go, what the next spot is, and so far he's Mongo is the one maintaining the pace of this match and everything. And the fact that he was able to do this with 1 year experience shows you how good
Yeah.
of a wrestler he was, you know?
It's
And
it's it's so good, and it's so much fun. This is the co-main event, and I
yeah,
kind of feel like back then, I feel like WCW fans are a little bit more. They're a little bit more like picky about what the co-main event is, and I think that these guys delivered. These guys delivered on a show where you have Benoit and Malenko and Rey Mysterio and Savage, like, and all these people they delivered. So you
I
know,
agree. I agree. Absolutely. All right, let's go to our main event. It is a 6-man tag match, so it's 3-on-3. It's our 9th match. We got actually the NWO Wolf Pack, which is Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Six. So it's like a subgroup of the NWO, the Wolf Pack, versus Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, and NFL football player Kevin Green making his return. Um, Ric Flair and Six, they're gonna start the match, and they start off hot, right? Um,
hmm
every time Ric Flair hits a move or hits a pose, the fans are going ballistic. It's like Beatlemania with Ric Flair, everything he's doing.
oh yeah,
And Six is just like, oh, dude, Ric Flair's got my number. So he has to crawl over and he has to tag in Scott Hall. And Scott Hall's a big fucking scary guy. So Ric Flair tags in Kevin Green. And the first thing Scott Hall does is he spits on Kevin Green and he tags in Kevin Nash, which I thought was that was so good. You know, it's like, oh, I want to face Ric Flair. Oh wait, Kevin Green, fuck you, spits on you. He goes, I'm gonna tag in my friend who's even bigger than you. Right?
I
This
loved it.
is so good. It's so good heel work. It's such good heel work. Doesn't matter how big Kevin Nash is because Kevin Green takes down Kevin Nash, which gets a huge pop, the huge reaction from the crowd. The Wolfpack have to all go outside the ring and they need to just regroup. They need to because they're getting somehow this fucking Kevin Green guy has their number, so they have to regroup. And then Scott Hall, he gets in the ring and he goes, "Hey, I want Roddy Piper. Give me Roddy Piper, okay? Yeah, let's pick on him. He's the weakling." So they tag in Roddy Piper, but guess what? Piper also has the edge until Six cheap shots Roddy Piper's right leg. Remember, he had surgery on his hip. And the Wolfpack starts putting the heat on Roddy Piper. They start beating on him, beating on him. And as they are, we start getting a "We Want Flair" chant from the crowd. "We Want Flair" chants. And then Ric Flair hot tags in. But Scott Hall does a thumb to the eye and a fall away slam. And he clotheslines Ric Flair out of the ring. The Wolfpack start putting the heat on Ric Flair. Six, they throw Ric Flair in the ring, and Six hits a Bronco Buster. This is the first Bronco Buster I'm seeing in pay-per-view, I think. He hits a Bronco Buster on Ric Flair, which gets a faggot chant from the crowd.
That's funny.
That is really funny. Different time, guys. 1997 was different time. Ric Flair, they do this thing where there's supposed to be like a collision spot where like he's supposed to collide with Six, but
Yeah,
they but Ric Flair is the one who fucks it up. He fucks up the spot. So they have to do it again. And it leads to Roddy Piper hot tagging in, but the referee didn't see Roddy Piper tagging in. So the referee stops Roddy Piper. He goes, "Oh, you can't come in the ring." And Roddy Piper, who doesn't give a fuck, he punches out the referee, and everybody's in the ring. Everybody's in the ring. They start fighting. Nick Patrick, former NWO referee Nick Patrick, who is now back in traditional referee gear, he comes out um, for this match. Ric Flair low blows Scott Hall, and then he puts the figure four on. Roddy Piper puts the sleeper hold on Kevin Nash, and he's basically, piggybacking on Kevin Nash. And Kevin Green, he power slams Six, and then Scott Hall is passed out. So the referee, Nick Patrick, he counts the three on his former stablemates, and for Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, and Kevin Green to win the match. Commentary team tells us Nick Patrick was actually reinstated. That's why he is back as a referee. They are telling us that people are crying in the audience, and Kevin Green looks into the camera and he goes, "NWO, no more." This was a fantastic match, fantastic way to finish the show. Even if the NWO is not no more, it was fantastic. I gave this a B plus. This was a great main event. I liked it a lot.
I love this main event, and I love seeing the crowd's reaction to Ric Flair. Here's another guy. Second match, he's in the ring with three fucking pros. Kevin Green. What a tremendous performance by Kevin Green in this
Yeah,
match. This guy, I think this guy's better than Logan Paul and Jelly. Again, another celebrity who like got it, and he's not like just mimicking like what the other wrestlers do. He's like, he's actually fighting, and I love that. And Paul Nash and X Pac do everything they can to get these guys over. I think Hall and Nash, and I definitely think Sean Waltman understood eventually we got to look like fucking idiots. We can't just bulldoze everybody over and over again. I think the person who didn't get that and the reason why it all fell to shit was Hulk Hogan. I think Hulk Hogan's not going to do a finish like this where all three are passed out. He'll do a finish where Kevin Nash is passed out, but Hogan's going to get away. You know what I'm saying? And
hmm
the pop when they all three guys get pinned. It's not like Kevin Nash gets pinned and Hall and X Pac are like outside like oh, all three guys are pinned, and the crowd is just so happy. And I'm looking at Ric Flair and I'm like the crowd still loves this guy.
yeah.
You
hmm
can do a lot with this guy, and you're gonna chase him out of the company and act like he's a jerk off in a few months, and I just don't understand it.
In 1997, as hard it is to believe, even in 1997, which is late 1990s, people like Roddy Piper and Ric Flair, Randy Savage, they are still super, super over with the fans. They're not
Yeah.
old timers. Even though they're being presented as old timers, they're not old timers. They're fucking legit more popular than fucking Shawn Michaels, and Bret Hart, you know?
Yeah. WWF, the whole thing about '97 is like, well, we were the better company for a while. It took everyone. No, no. As of May of '97, WWF still stinks. It can't compete with WCW at all. It just can't.
No, no,
And
no, no. I would say 1997. And I think in May of 1997, if you're taking at both pay-per-views, I would say you and I, we both agree that WCW had the better pay-per-view, right?
yes, so that
So,
means the scorecard now is 9 for WCW, 2 for WWF, and 2 for a draw.
yes,
So
that's what I have.
it's a complete ass kicking by WCW since the NWO has shown up. So what are you gonna do? All right,
Yeah.
guys. So I say watch the show. Listen, watch all these shows. If there's a show you're curious about on Peacock, like, oh, I always wanted to watch Starcade '92, it's not good, but just go watch it because I have a feeling that when this ESPN deal goes through at next April May, you may never get to see Starcade '92 ever again. So you should go watch it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, do it, go watch it. Like, it's the fact that you have it. But we're gonna keep doing Andrew. I think we could agree. We're gonna keep going in order. If the archives move someplace where we can both access it, we'll keep going. But if not, we'll review other things. How's that sound? Good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Basically watch it on Peacock while you can for $10 a month. Before it
Yeah.
goes to $30 a month. Yeah,
Yeah.
watch it while you can for $10 a month, guys.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a rumor that some of the archives might go to Paramount Plus. So we'll see. We'll
Wow,
see.
they're just like this is what they're taking everybody's getting a piece. They're just ripping it apart.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, man. I'll get Paramount Plus. I already have access to it for the archives, and fuck the new pay-per-views because like I just won't watch the new pay-per-views. If Paramount Plus gets like all the old stuff from like 2024 and below, I'll just keep that, bro. Because like I'm gonna watch fucking 2000 Smackdowns 500 times more than I'd ever watch like the new WrestleMania. You know?
Yeah, I get you. I hear you.
Yeah. So
All
we
right.
so let's go over the next 4 weeks because we're still
Oh
in
yeah,
like
that's right.
next week it is King of the Ring '97. The main event is Farouk versus Undertaker. In 2 weeks it is Great American Bash '97. The main event there is DDP versus Macho Man. In 3 weeks, it's in your house Canadian Stampede. It's the Hart Foundation versus Team USA in a 5-on-5 match, not a Survivor Series, one fall to a finish. And then in 4 weeks, it's Bash at the Beach 97. Hulk Hogan and Dennis Rodman. He's back. Finally, the Hulkster's back after he died. He came back from the dead. Versus Lex Luger and the Giant. What are you looking forward to, Oos?
Bash at the Beach,
Yeah,
actually. Bash at the Beach.
I'm ready to see Hogan again, man. We need some
Yeah,
Hulkster.
me too. Yeah, I feel like he has left us, but
Yeah, because he's barely mentioned on this show except for them like making fun of Savage, and I'm like, oof.
you know what I do like? I like the fact that they're doing this thing where the NWO is some parts of it is they're falling apart and they're losing because
Mhm.
their leader is not here, you know?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I don't know how it's gonna be on TV, but they should do this thing where Hogan comes back and he's like, "When I'm gone, why are you guys fucking up?" You know? And
Yeah.
I hope that's the storyline. And when he comes back, things are kind of a little bit more in control with the NWO or something like that.
I
You
would
know?
not be if that's the storyline in real life, where Hogan's calling Bischoff and be like, "Hey, brother, I gotta be. Let you know what? The NWO can lose a few battles while I'm gone. Let's make it. Brother, I think it's time for
Yeah,
Hall and Nash to lay down for Flair, broski. You know,
yeah.
Flair needs
He's
his
the
heat back,
ultimate
bro.
politician. He was the ultimate politician. He knew what he was
Yeah,
doing.
and then when he gets back, it's like, all right, it's time to beat Ric Flair to death. Okay, come on, get in the ring. Woo!
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's our show. Please subscribe to us, leave comments on TikTok, do what you got to do, and we're gonna see you next week for the King of the Ring '96. See you then.